Robbie, Charlie, and Robbie and
Scared. They both came out. I don't know what's up. They say it's the summer cut. I don't. There's something afoot. Mr. Horton, we're not. Is
he's here.
oh he is.
He was on.
All right, Council, can you make sure your microphones are on, please? Thank you.
Turn
All
yours
right,
on.
we've got about 15 seconds here. Madam Clerk, we're good to go.
Yes, sir. You turn it back
We
on.
think we've got everybody live stream.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to the City of St. Mary's, Georgia Council meeting for May 6th, 2024. And so welcome, and welcome to our citizens on live stream. We're going to move to our invocation, and our Councilman Alan Rassi is going to deliver that. Thank you, Alan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you for this beautiful day and all that you have given us. We thank you for bringing us together tonight. Lord, we thank you for the many blessings you've given us on a daily basis and the opportunity we have as a council to work alongside our staff for the betterment of our city and for the citizens whom we serve. Lord, be with our men and women of the armed services who serve and protect our country both home and abroad. Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you for the 445 soon-to-be graduates of Camden County High School. Lord, we truly thank you for the employees of St. Mary's. Keep them safe and guide them, Lord, as we serve our citizens. Lord, guide us together tonight in our business for the city of St. Mary's. May we do all that we can do as leaders in our community to lead and work together for the citizens to whom we serve. Bless us, O Lord, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome to our little citizens also. We are glad you're here. Thank you. We got more little citizens coming too. Excellent. We like it. All right. So, thank you, Mr. Rassi. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Madam Clerk, could we have the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Post 1, Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Post 2, Councilmember Connor.
Here.
Post 3, Councilmember Ingram.
Here.
Post 4, Councilmember Riley.
Present.
Post 5, Councilmember Rassi.
President.
Post 6, Councilmember James. Here. Mayor Morrissey,
I'm here. Thank you.
we have a quorum.
Okay. Council, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of April 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Mr. James, and I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Ingram? Okay. All right, any further corrections or additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous, and
Yes, sir.
that constitutes 6.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, so we have quite a bit under presentations today, and the first is recognition of Fire and Public Works Department's ISO Insurance Services Office, and Mr. Horton, you're going to tell us about that.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
This is some exciting news,
At least for someone like me. If I could, Chief Lackner, Mr. Moore, if you'd come up here and join me, please. While they're coming, I'm going to get started. On February 29th of 24, out of the 46,000 communities nationwide rated by ISO, the Insurance Service Office, fewer than 1% are rated 2 or better. The City of St. Mary's is going from a 3 to a 2, starting August 1st of 2024. To help insurance company gauge the risk, the Insurance Service Office, ISO, gives ratings to every community based on the dependability of their fire department, water supply, and 911 center. The lower your community's ISO rating, the lower your homeowner's insurance will be. It's affecting your fire insurance portion of it. Lowering the ISO rating indicates an improvement in the fire protection, water supply, and 911 center protected structures within the community, and an improved rating impacts homeowners and commercial properties directly by insurance rates. The average savings is dependent on many factors such as type of construction, age, and value of structure. Days of old, and I'm speaking from the dirt knocking off, we can probably see somewhere between an 8 to 15% savings
Good.
on our homeowners insurance.
Good.
Okay, so that is a very monumental task, and both of these gentlemen and their crews and along with the 911 center, have worked very hard to accomplish that, and they just deserve to be recognized for that. So that completes it, sir.
All right, gentlemen, I don't think any of us really have a concept of the amount of work that it takes for that to happen. So would either one of you or both of you want to just make a short statement?
It's,
I love doing this.
it's 3 years of hydrant testing, flow testing, different ways of hydrant maintenance, pump testing, ladder testing, hose testing, training that has to meet 240 hours of training a year per firefighter in certain areas. And EMS training doesn't count for some reason, but it's strictly firefighter training, and they come in, the trucks have to be set up a certain way. Response areas have to be taken care of. The 911 center has to make a very large part of this. So it's 3 hours. They come to us and say, we want to see these 3 years worth of data.
Yeah.
We have to be able to produce
Thank you.
A lot of documentation.
a lot of documentation.
Bobby, you want to say anything?
No, you covered this. Just like famous, document.
Bobby's making his statement with a stylish belt buckle. Go Dogs. There we go.
There's also a lot of engineering that goes into it during our planning processes with developments and things to ensure the fire hydrant locations are there, that they're within X amount of feet depending on what the structure is, how the structure is built, ensuring that we've got the loops and the water lines, and you'll hear more about that on Wednesday because there is some money in the upcoming budget for doing some more looping. When we got the ISO 2, we got it by the skin of our hairy hair, chin, or whatever you want to say. But with these two at the helm, we can be assured that we're going to actually do better next time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Horton, I think you're up again.
Yes, sir, I'm not done. We encourage our employees on a regular basis to improve themselves, because especially those kinds of employees that improve themselves, not for the betterment of themselves, but for the betterment of the organization and to better do their job. I know that's not proper English, so don't quote me that way, okay? But for the last 6 months, Margaret Mesmer has been a participant. Wait a minute, hold on. Margaret, come on. Margaret Mesmer has been participating in the University of Georgia Carl Vinson Institute of Government Public Finance Leadership Academy. And on Friday, she graduated. PFLA is a 6-month cohort program in which the participants are instructed by leaders and professionals in governmental finance who help equip participants with the knowledge that they need to successfully manage the physical affairs and activities of a local government. Margaret was an outstanding student in her class, and her presentation on Friday was received with high praise from her classmates and instructors. She has again represented the city of St. Mary's in a professional, positive manner. We are proud of you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Margaret, just tell us a little bit about what your presentation was about. Because, you know, some of us are probably going to
Okay, here's what my presentation was on. I had written a 3-page, 4-page paper, and I literally did not read my presentation from that paper. I picked up highlights of it because they had us in alphabetical order. So the first guy in the room, he thought he was doing the valedictorian of the class, so he put everything in like maybe 4 or 5 pages. So we all kind of like were able to piggyback off of him, and thanks to our assistant city manager, he helped me keep my classmates tuned into my speech. Awesome. We had a presentation. They thought I had props for my presentation, but in reality, I didn't. I had a brown paper bag, and they kept saying, "What's in there? Your props?" I'm like, time will tell. So I got done with my presentation, and it's a balloon that pops out of the balloon that says, "Congratulations, we did it."
So what was your presentation topic?
Oh, I had to pick classes that I was able to bring back here, and like some of the stuff I've already implemented. Like Marcia and I have talked positive payee. We've actually implemented that on the ACHs and checks now, because we just had positive pay, but now we actually have positive payee. And then we also, some of the questions, like when we are hiring someone, we do the actual call and we check the reference checks. And I notice sometimes when I'm calling people, they get kind of irritated because they're previous employees. They don't want to waste 10 or 15 minutes on the phone giving us a reference check. So the HR class, the guy gave us some samples, and there was like 5 quick questions. So that's what we ask now. So there were little things like that. Each class had, you can stop by my office tomorrow and I'll show you my presentation.
I will be there. Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
And real quick, I did make one fatal mistake in being from the great state. I did say it wrong. It is Georgia with 2 syllabi.
Well, that's what happened when you cut your hair. Just saying. Just saying. You notice the other one's been shorn too, so I don't know what's going on. Summer. All right. So it's my privilege, as one of, like I said, 4 proclamations today. I'm going to read some, and some I'm going to hit highlight. But this one is, I think, important. I was able to be on the advisory board for the Salvation Army for a number of years. And this is National Salvation Army Week. And whereas since its founding in Great Britain in 1865, the Salvation Army has provided humanitarian relief and spiritual guidance to people throughout the world. Its members continue its compassionate tradition of helping wherever there is hunger, disease, destitution, and spiritual need. And whereas throughout countless acts of service, members of the Salvation Army actively assisted those who suffer in body and spirit in more than 100 countries, speaking more than 140 languages. The high spiritual and humanitarian role of the Salvation Army has long been an important part of American life. And whereas through its welfare and religious institutions in our country, the Salvation Army has befriended, aided, and given new hope to men, women, and children, regardless of race or creed. Now I therefore John F. Morrissey, Mayor of the City of St. Mary's, Georgia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 13th through May 18th, 2024 as National Salvation Army Week. And we're pleased to have, where is it? Ma'am, you want to come up and introduce yourself and tell people who you are?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Elise Pate. I'm the Director at the Salvation Army here in St. Mary's. I'd like to thank you for awarding us this proclamation and all the support that the city has continued to give the Salvation Army locally. And anytime that I need anything from the city, all I have to do is reach out. Thank you, Mayor, for serving on the board. We look forward to the continued relationship with the city and know that we can continue to do good things for not just the citizens here in St. Mary's, but all of Camden County. We have a lot of exciting things going on. May the 13th through the 18th, there'll be a lot of things happening in our store. So to stop in that week, but May the 18th is our opportunity to give back that Saturday to our volunteers, to our donors, and to anybody that wants to come see us. We'll have a lot of activities in the parking lot for the kids. We have inflatables coming. We have a lot of surprises going on that day. So please stop by and see us from 9 to 2 on Saturday, May the 18th. We will be utilizing our new commercial kitchen to prepare food for a free lunch that day. So please stop by and check out our new kitchen, and I will feed you. So thank you for your continued support, and I just can't be thankful enough to be working and living in a city that supports us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hold on, Pat.
Thank you, Artie.
Thank you.
You the man.
Thank you again.
All right, so this proclamation is the National Cities, Towns, and Villages Month. Whereas the National League of Cities was founded in 1924 in Lawrence, Kansas, as the American Municipal Association by state municipal leagues seeking more coordination and national representation as cities, towns, and villages expanded rapidly. And whereas the nonpartisan National League of Cities is the oldest and largest organization representing municipal governments throughout the United States, representing the interests of more than 19,000 cities, towns, and villages across the country. And whereas today the National League of Cities works in partnership with 49 state municipal leagues across the country to strengthen local leadership, drive innovation, and influence the federal policies that impact local programs and operations. And whereas, as a voice of cities, towns, and villages in Washington, D.C., the National League of Cities has successfully championed federal legislation solutions that support municipalities and has worked closely with Congress and the executive branch to educate policymakers on the realities of local implementation. And the City of St. Mary's is a proud member of the National League of Cities and has benefited from the organization's research, technical expertise, federal advocacy, and opportunities to learn from other governments. So I, John F. Morrissey, Mayor of the City of St. Mary's, Georgia, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as National Cities, Towns, and Villages Month. And I should have had Ms. James read this. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. My apologies.
No worries.
Ms. James not only has a lead here in St. Mary's with the National League of Cities, but is quite involved in many of the I guess you would call
Committees,
it. Do you want to tell us?
federal policy committees,
Yeah,
yes.
That's,
There we go.
thank you, okay. But my, I don't know why, I'm sorry, I should have.
No
had you
worries.
say that. Okay. And the next one is for Professional Municipal Clerks Week. This is May 5th through the 11th, 2024. So we've got to make sure our clerks are listening. All right, whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerks is a time-honored and vital part of the local government, which exists throughout the world, the municipal clerk's profession is one of the oldest among public servants, which traces back to the biblical times, and whereas municipal clerks provide a professional link between citizens, local governing bodies, and departments of government. Professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas municipal clerks serve as the information center on functions of local government and community, they continually strive to improve administration of the affairs in programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state and international professional organizations. It is most appropriate that we recognize accomplishments of municipal clerks as they celebrate the 55th anniversary of Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Congratulations, ladies. And Miss Deborah, would you like to remind everybody what your title is this year?
Yes, I was gonna,
Oh, you're going to do it?
I was gonna make her, yes.
You go ahead.
She's shy. So we also happen to have the sitting clerk of the year for the state of Georgia, right here in St. Mary's.
Congratulations. All right, and I
Oh,
think,
that's right, I forgot. She's also the president of the Clerks Association for the state of Georgia this year, starting in what, February?
Yes.
So,
along with her other duties.
along with keeping us safe, right?
Yeah, that's right. She keeps all those electrons from running amok here. So what we'll do now is we have a proclamation for Andy Hamilton. Is Andy here by chance? All right. Well, I would like to read this because I think it's just a wonderful recognition. That it's, whereas the industrious spirit and unwavering dedication of UPS drivers have been instrumental in facilitating the efficient delivery of goods across communities, fostering connectivity and commerce, and whereas Mr. Andy Hamilton had dedicated 32 years to UPS, with the last 6 years in St. Mary's, a city he loves. His professionalism, courtesy, and tireless efforts exemplify the highest standards of customer service, consistently going above and beyond to meet the needs of recipients with a smile. And whereas the contributions of UPS drivers extend beyond the delivery of packages, as they serve as ambassadors of goodwill, fostering positive interactions and forging meaningful connections with individuals and business alike. Mr. Hamilton's love for his grandchildren, family, and customers assists him in providing superior customer service amidst challenging circumstances. UPS drivers exhibit unparalleled commitment navigating through various terrains, weather conditions, and logistic complexities to ensure packages reach their destinations in a timely and reliable manner. And we thank him and all those servants who are out there every day in the community, making our lives a little bit easier. Mr. Horton, would you take this, and we'll make sure that Andy gets this the next time he pulls up in front of City Hall. And I think Friday at 1 o'clock
Yes, sir.
at the pavilion at the waterfront, they're having a little recognition for Andy, and I think all are invited, correct? Yes, so please, if you're there, stop by and tell him thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so we have some board announcements. We have a vacancy for the St. Mary's Library Board and the St. Mary's Hospital Authority. And we have board appointments, term expirations for the Camden County Board of Education, Sex Education Instructional Review Committee. Now we have a vote for the Historic Preservation Commission. And Madam Clerk, I needed to confirm there are 2 positions open,
one
right?
seat, yes, sir.
Okay. So we have, Council, you have 2 applications that were submitted. Mr. Lewis and
Linda Perry.
Miss
Perry.
Perry. Yes, Celinda Perry. Thank you very much. So, and I think they may be here. Raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. All right, so, council, Madam Clerk, we can vote for both of these at the same time? Or did they need to be voted
Well,
individually?
there's only one seat.
No seat.
I thought you said there were two.
Oh, no, 2 applications, 1 seat.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, okay. So, council, let me make a grid here for a minute. All right, Mr. Jones, we have 2 candidates and for the Historic Preservation Commission, and would you like to take the vote?
No, sir, Mayor, I wouldn't like to be the one that chose because they're both
I know it. Very difficult.
good friends of mine, both Camden County residents, and I said eeny, meeny, miny, mo several times, and it's always different. But I think for this position, I'm going to go ahead and get Miss Celinda Perry.
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Connor.
I'm gonna follow suit and go with Celinda Perry as well.
Mr. Ingram.
I would just like to state that thank you both for, wanting to serve your community, and there are other positions available on other boards, so please look out and seek those after this is over. But I'll vote for Mr. Lewis.
Okay. Mr. Riley?
I had the opportunity to talk with both Ms. Perry and Mr. Lewis earlier today, and both of them are outstanding candidates, and they both know that we all wish them well and want them to keep their name open for other positions that we might have in the future, and they both agreed to that, so thank you for that. And my choice is Ms. Perry.
All right, Mr. Rassi.
2 qualified candidates. I'm picking Celinda Perry.
All right, and Ms. James.
Yeah, I would say the same. Awesome candidates, and please be open to other positions. I wish we could pick both of you, but my vote is for Ms. Perry.
Okay. All right. So, Madam Clerk, would you recognize Ms. Perry as the selection for the Historic Preservation Commission? Congratulations to both of you.
Both.
And we're very serious about, please, keep an eye out for anything you might be interested in. This gives me my opportunity for my public service announcement about if anybody's interested in any position on any of the committees, boards, or authorities. There is a form online, and Madam Clerk can help you through it if you'd like some guidance, and she would be happy to help you at any time. So please think about doing that. Thank you both.
Mayor Morrissey?
We need a vote. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm getting there. Yes, I got to mark my paper, or I'm not going to remember what I'm doing. All right, so we need a motion and a second for Mrs. Perry.
Motion to select Ms. Perry.
Second.
Mr. Riley, and the second I thought I heard from Ms. James?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments or additional words?
Can't say thank you enough to both. I
Yeah,
just want to
thank you.
reiterate that.
Thank you, Celinda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, we're going to the Planning Commission, and there is 1 position open, and we have 3 candidates, Mr. Anderson, Mr. DeMarco, and Mr. Hicks. So, Council, let me get my paper. Thank you for providing the matrix, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, so, tell you what, we're gonna go the other side this time, Artie. I hope you're gonna be okay with that.
Okay.
No pressure, Artie.
All right, So this is for the Planning Commission position, and I've listed the three candidates. Ms. James, what's your selection?
Again, I'm going to have to say this again. I mean, three absolutely outstanding candidates, and it's tough to make a decision, but based off of really just experience, I would have to go with Mr. Hicks.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. Rassi?
I echo what Ms. James said, and I select Matthew Hicks.
Okay. Mr. Riley?
Yeah, again, I had the great opportunity to talk with all three candidates again today. And again, they all are outstanding candidates, each one of them, and they've all agreed to keep an eye out for future positions, but I also choose Mr. Hicks.
All right. Mr. Ingram?
Matthew Hicks.
And Mr. Connor?
Matthew Hicks.
All right. And Mr. Jones?
Might as well make it unanimous, Matthew Hicks.
All right. So I apologize, I forgot. If you're here, could you acknowledge Mr. Hicks? Anybody else? Mr. DeMarco? Thank you very much, both of you. And please remember what we said about keeping an eye out for other positions. So I'm we're gonna move into making a vote. Be correct.
So move.
All right, so Mr.
Second.
Jones, and I have a second from Mrs. James. And any further discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Madam Clerk, please, that's unanimous also.
Yes, sir.
And that we have the St. Mary's Library Board and Mr. Diefendorfer and, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, is this one position or two?
One seat, sir. There will be another one next month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Burdette and Mr. Diffendorfer. So, once again, let me make my grid. Okay. I'm going to start with Mr. Riley.
Well, again, after reviewing the applications, I had one question. They're both Kingsland residents, and have we looked at the bylaws and made sure that's satisfactory?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The librarian, Laurel, also contacted the state, and it
Okay.
doesn't specify.
Okay, thank you. And this is from a review of the applications. Again, we've got both outstanding candidates, and my choice is, let me make sure I read this name right, Miss Burdette.
Okay. Mr. Rassi.
My selection is Andy Durfendorfer.
Okay. Ms. James.
Upon review of the applications, Ms. Burdette.
Okay. Mr. Ingram.
Miss Burdette.
And Mr. Connor.
Miss Burdette.
And Mr. Jones.
Miss Burdette.
All right. Congratulations, Ms. Burdette, Mr. Diffendorfer. Anyhow, if you look in later, you're looking on right now, thank you for what you're doing, both of you. And may I have a motion on this, council?
Motion to select Ms. Burdette.
Mr. Riley, and a second from?
Second.
Okay. Any further comments, observations, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's also unanimous.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, public, for allowing us to get through some of this work effort. And make sure I covered it all. Now we're going to move to a report of boards and authorities, commissions and committees. Yes, ma'am, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council. You will find in your council packet the financial report for March 2024, which is the 9th month of our fiscal year FY24, which we're currently in. Are there any questions?
I mean, the numbers are tracking.
The numbers are tracking,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Like we would like.
Yes.
You see anything on the horizon over the next quarter?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I'm sure you noticed your big notebooks there at your stations when you came in for that's the document for the upcoming meeting on Wednesday morning at 9. So I'll see you then.
9 or 8:30?
Oh, it was 9. Oh, 8:30.
Sorry.
We're going to verify.
I had to ask. 8:30.
The new 9.
I like the way you think.
Yes, sir, we're good.
All right, yeah.
I do have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
On St. Mary's Exit 1 Project Fund and the debt service, do you have any additional tracking on those that you can send out?
I can.
Schedule yes, like a schedule.
I can send out the schedule of the payment schedule, which is what I go by on that.
Okay.
If you'd like that,
Okay,
I sure can. I'll have that for you Wednesday.
thank you.
All right, any other questions for Marcia and Finance Department?
Mr. Mayor, it is originally scheduled at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That's what I had.
Well, let me go off topic here for a second and ask the question, do we want to go at 8:30 to make sure we're finished during the day?
I think it would be worthwhile.
Yeah, that's good.
If you all don't mind being there at 8:30.
Yeah, not much difference.
I don't want to, if you've got something scheduled for, if that's okay, yeah. Now, if we did we publish that? Is there a problem with publishing?
No, we have time to send
Okay.
it out. Yep. If you
All
want
right.
8:30, I can revise it.
I think we ought to take the extra half hour, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever you say.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your flexibility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I didn't say 8 o'clock. It's compromise.
Want to go for 8? What'd you say?
How about 7:30? You want to?
Hey, I'm.
Let's stop, yeah.
Okay.
7:30 to 1?
We're getting better.
Oh, no.
Might do a fish in the afternoon.
Wait, what?
Yeah, okay, we'll get done.
7:30 to 1?
Oh, no.
No. All right. All right, Council, we need to set the consent agenda. We have no old business, and the first item under new business is the intergovernmental agreement for equipment between the City of Homeland and the City of St. Mary's.
Consent?
Consent.
St. Mary's Aquatic Park 2024 Seasonal Food Service Agreement.
Consent.
St. Mary's Aquatic Park 2024 Seasonal Food Agreement Yankee Pie.
Consent?
Local Maintenance Improvement Grant, FY 2021 Georgia Department of Transportation Construction Contract.
Consent?
Consent.
Intergovernmental agreement between St. Mary's Police Department and the Georgia Public Safety Training.
Consent.
Consent?
Resolution lifting the 60-day moratorium certificate of appropriateness applications in the Historic District.
Consent?
Janitorial service contract.
I got a couple quick questions on that.
Okay. Contract renewal for Time Clocks Plus.
Consent?
Budget ordinance amendment FY 2024 SPLOST 8 in solid waste for grapple truck.
Consent?
And the budget ordinance amendment 2024 general fund damaged police vehicle.
Consent?
Georgia Municipal Association District 12 officers we need to discuss.
Yep.
Okay. So our consent agenda consists of, and double check me here, as usual, item A, item B, C, D, E, F, H, I, J.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is read.
Second?
Mr. Riley, and that was Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any discussions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. And now I need a motion to approve the agenda as set.
So moved.
Mr. Jones.
Second.
And second from Mr. Connor. Any further comments or discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we can move to granting audience to the public. This is on the agenda items only, and we request you give your name and address and respect the 5-minute time limit. So whoever would like to come up first? Or-
Bert Seals, 816 Riverview Drive. I wanted to talk about a janitorial service contract. So I guess since you guys gonna talk about it, I'm kind of lay low because I got some real questions for that. And so let me ask. And I'm looking at from the total range from 81,000 to 380,000, you know. And I'm looking at, is it a small business, a large business, how many employees, you know, are they servicing, I guess, all the police department, public works, library, visitor center, city hall, old city hall, senior center, Orange Hall. Those are some of the things I was going to ask, you know what I mean? So I think you guys either grab onto it and, you know, this is something I think, you know, we trying to employ, you know, small business concerns, you know, contractual stuff, and I think that's not a good idea. I would like to keep it with a contractual. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right. Moving into new business, first item was the janitorial service contract, and I don't know who would like to speak first. You-
I was wanting to ask a question, and Mr. Seals actually hit on one of the questions I had. You know, what's the scope of work that we're going to replace with 1.5 people? I don't understand that part of it. And obviously, small business, once they sign a contract and all the items are listed there, we have some ability to force that work if there's not. But if we run behind in the city, all we've got is a few of our administrative efforts that we can make to help write that, or if somebody's sick, we lose that. And we really reduce the sort of reach back that we have into the a contract. We don't have that in the city. Obviously, we could hire a temporary, but you go through a whole bunch of administrative steps to get there. So I didn't quite understand how we were going to do that. And then the second part is who's going to manage these people as well, because we don't identify the management capability in it. As you know, when I look around at the work that every manager in our city does, they're already loaded, and the manager of this type work, in my experience, when I've had to actually was the contractor that ran some of that. They were down a subcontract, and that the management takes some really superb effort. So I'm just not sure how we're going to accommodate that as well. So I wanted to ask those questions.
Yes, sir. Good evening again. The positions would be managed by the building maintenance department supervisor is who that would actually fall under. But to back up, the bids were put out for this building here, Main Street, all of this building, Main Street. Did it cover tourism?
No, it doesn't cover Main Street.
Yeah.
Tourism,
The police department, the Coast Guard,
library.
the library. That did not factor in the new location. Oh, and the senior center at the new location was included in there, but not the not where we're going. Those were the areas that were looked at the time of, whenever we do move over and take up that new space, it would have to be renegotiated with the company that would be selected. Staff's recommendation was to go and keep it in-house for simple fact, basically for right around the lowest bid, we can employ 1.5 people to do that. That would give us one full-time person that is cleaning. One person would be able to pick up the evenings and the afternoons and clean along with them. And that's our recommendation.
Oh.
I'm not convinced it'll work, but
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. That just
Yeah.
seems like an awful lot of work for 1.5 people.
You wanna
Whatever
add-
That's generally what they've been using to do the cleaning as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, generally, I mean, I have a very small office building, and it's a lot for one.
Well, they don't clean every building every day. They're in here every day cleaning the common areas. They go a couple of times a week to the police department. They go a couple of times a week to the library and that sort of thing. So they stagger those, they catch the common areas here, and that's how the bids were laid out.
So, my question is, we're going from how many square feet here to, is it 90,000 square feet in the other
Well,
building?
50.
I'm sorry, 50 plus the library and the police, and then 1.5 persons, 40 hours a week. So 40 plus is a part-time person, 25 or 30. I would like to see a little bit more of a breakdown on the
Well,
finance.
that's actually in the meeting for for Wednesday. Right now, city staff is cleaning the buildings as we go, late afternoons, and early mornings and things of that nature. So it's actually, that component is in the budget for discussion on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think what's going through my mind is you get what you pay for, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think we want to be able to maintain, especially going into a brand-new refurbished, didn't say that right, refurbished.
When we anticipate that it's probably going to take 2 full-time people once we go into that. We understand that, but even at that, we're still going to be in the running, if not right there.
Did I hear you say that you could hire these people for the lowest bid that you received?
And that's with the chemicals. The budget we'll talk about Wednesday basically is 1.5 people. It's the chemicals that we would use to clean. It is also providing an existing vehicle that the city has and all the equipment to do it for just a couple of $1,000s more than what we're seeing on that lowest bid.
You know what my conversation is going to entail is Orange Hall. Are they going to be included in that process? Or how's that being managed and cleaned?
Are you referring to the cookhouse or are you talking about the building itself?
The bathrooms primarily.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what-
It would be on the cycle that the contract would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd maintain the same cycle that we were currently working
We've
on.
had issues with that.
Yes, sir.
On many occasions. Not one occasion, but many occasions.
Yes, sir.
So, Council, how'd you like to handle this? Do you want to vote on it, or do we want to?
Mayor, if we can, we need to reject the bids twofold and let the budget be what the budget is on Wednesday.
Okay.
If we're redirected at Wednesday, then we can certainly back up and put it back out, but we really feel like we need to reject these bids.
I make a motion to that effect.
All right, so everybody clear what we're doing?
Second.
No.
Do we have to reject them, or could we push them out a little bit, or do we have to reject them? I don't know.
It's up to you.
Legally, I would.
You'll have to reject them.
Yeah.
Well, by rejecting the bids, then we have to do
Start
it
over.
in-house at this
Well,
point. Is that correct?
we're doing it in-house anyway, currently. If you reject them, we go back through the whole process.
Yeah.
If you want to push them out, then we can go back in and tweak and have further discussions or whatever.
So let me understand what we're voting on then. If we reject the bids, if we vote to reject the bids, then we'll go back up for another bid?
Well, it depends on what you decide on Wednesday.
Okay,
We have,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good if you don't feel comfortable with the bids, but I'm not good with
Mr.
taking
Blackerby, am I wrong?
work,
Okay.
I'm not in any way comfortable with taking this work in-house because I've seen over my time in working that this is one of the first things that get contracted out just because of the things that I've already mentioned. I'm not going to go back through them, but I think that that's going to be a overload for your staff. And I don't know what the building manager does now, but he's going to be loaded up with management duties if he has to go out and manage. I understand you're doing it in-house now, but you say the staff in those facilities is something to that effect, I think is what I understood. And long-term, that's a tough thing to manage, very, very difficult. And I think it's the right way for us to move at this point. So if we're rejecting the bids and go out for rebidding, I'm okay with that. Is that my understanding what you want with this?
We're rejecting for now, then deciding if we're going to rebid on Wednesday.
Right, at budget hearings.
Is that?
I honestly would not vote to reject the bids. I mean, you have 8 competitive bids. Obviously, there's already been a lot of work put into it. I would prefer to push them out in the interest of time. If you wanted to go back and at least look at those and compare them to whatever budget we have, you don't have to start from scratch. I mean, you have a lot, that's a lot of bids, and that's, to me, there should be some options in there. But if you back it out, then you can't consider any of those.
You can
So
always rebid.
Yeah.
there's a time element, so I would prefer to back it out. I mean, whoever wants to make the motion, make it for whatever
Well,
you
we
want.
have a motion on the floor. I would
Okay,
have a
I'm
We
sorry.
have a motion on the floor.
I'm
I
sorry.
was just trying to clarify what the motion was.
I'm
Is there a
sorry.
motion and a second?
Yes.
No, Mr. Rassi, what was your motion?
Reject.
To reject a bid.
All right, so
Yeah.
what's the temperature here about?
Just vote.
Second.
Well,
Okay, so I have, thank you, Miss, all right, so we have a motion to reject the bids, and I have a second. That was Mr. Rassi and Mr. Jones. Okay, so so discussion on this, the motion is to reject the bids. Now, you didn't say anything about discussing it on Wednesday,
No.
but that'll be automatic, so I could stand as it is. So, any discussions on this motion?
Yeah, I think the motion is written, and Ms. Clerk, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the motion reads on the paper that we got to go in-house with that, with the service. And what we're doing is not giving permission to go in-house, but
Correct.
just rejecting the bid.
Correct.
And so that's understood,
Yes,
and
sir.
you can make sure that's understood in
Well,
the,
we
Yes, sir.
need an amendment to the motion to do what you want. Is that, do you want to do that?
It was under
Yeah.
my understanding from Mr. Rassi, he was just rejecting the bid,
That's right.
only.
that's all I said.
So that would automatically,
that's what I understood.
is that correct, Mr. Blackerby? It would automatically
I think it would just
allow
be,
them to hire.
I don't believe so. It's just gonna be a rejection of the bids that have been submitted, and you essentially are going back to step one,
All right.
and you can make a decision
That would
after the
be
budget
clean
meeting.
enough, and then we can move to Wednesday. Okay, all right, so we have
Let me
that
just
motion on. there.
clarify real quick. So rejecting the bids, you actually have to start from, you have to start from scratch. You
Yeah.
cannot use these bids again. You'd have to start the entire bidding
Process.
That's
process
correct.
from scratch.
Once the bid is rejected, the bidder is no longer obligated to follow through with that bid.
Okay, gotcha.
You can't go back and accept it after it's rejected.
They won't be. Guarantee they'll be lower.
Any more discussion or comments? All right, so why don't we start with Ms. James then?
Are we asking for a vote? Are we voting?
Yes.
Yeah, just.
Oh, I vote no.
No, okay.
No to the rejection.
All right. Mr. Rassi?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Riley?
You can skip me, huh? I vote yes.
All right. Mr. Ingram?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Connor?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
okay. So, Madam Clerk, 5 yeas, 1 nay.
Yes, sir.
To reject the bids, and, for our housekeeping, we'll see this at the budget on Wednesday. Okay. Thank you very much for a good conversation, appreciate it. Thank you, staff, for everything you've done, we'll get there, I'm sure. All right, so the next thing is really a pleasure, and if I can get down there. So, our GMA District 12, which is 13 counties?
About.
Right, I think, yeah. It's almost the same as the CRC's area. So this is council consideration to cast a ballot for the officer nominees for the 2025 Georgia Municipal Association's District 12. Cities are entitled to 1 vote annually to elect the officers for District 12. This year's nominees are, as important for us, for president, Lisa James, council member, St. Mary's. And I do believe you're...
Congratulations.
I'm already the president.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
So,
It's for the next year.
could I have a motion on
I make
this?
a motion that we vote affirmative on the candidates offered by District 12.
All right, thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Ingram. Okay. Madam?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to,
Madam President.
all right, I'm going to say, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
I will abstain.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, do you have that? It's 5 yeas and 1 abstention.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Congratulations, ma'am. Thank you for taking care of our district, and also, you're always communicative about what's happening in the district for the city. So with that, appreciate it again. Council, we're going to move into the report of the city manager. Yes, sir.
It's me again.
Yeah.
Good evening, all. Just to kind of update on our Osborne median project, the pollinator garden has been installed. The tree brigade continues their maintenance efforts, focusing on the weeding of the median. Moving on down to Orange Hall, just as a reminder to everyone, there'll be a fish fry at the Orange Hall Cookhouse on June the 8th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for $12 a plate. Proceeds will be going to the Orange Hall Fund. Our latest on our Georgia's Outdoor Stewardship Program. Working on the second level of application for submittal to DR. Part of the application is due on April 30th, and the remainder is due on May 30th. The second level application required documentation for the April 3rd deadline has been submitted. GOSP team is working on additional information for submittal prior to the May 30th deadline. For those of you that haven't noticed, moving on down to our Brewer Street boat ramp gangway replacement, the gangway has been replaced and installed and tested and everything else. The contractor will be returning over the next couple of weeks for re-inspect on site, just looking at wear and tear, also to retorque the bolts if any are needed. The IT, we continue on with the website, that is moving ahead well. Finance Department, as a reminder, and this will be one of several times you'll hear this, there will be a budget workshop in the council chambers on May the 8th, which is this Wednesday, at 8:30 until 5 p.m. for council to review the FY25 budget. We will try to complete the review on the 8th, but if we don't complete it, we will go again on the 9th. Council, please be here.
Was that 7:30?
No, sir, that was 8:30. Thank you for the clarification on that. That would be on Wednesday morning, sir. Our police department has hired 2 of the 4 SRO officers. They are scheduling interviews for the other 2 positions. The first annual Knights of Columbus K-9 5K was held this weekend and was a huge success. In the first 4 months of this calendar year, the St. Mary's Police Department has answered approximately 11,000 calls for service. They have conducted approximately 3,700 business checks and issued 837 citations. Again, our fire department, the ISO rating of 2 will not be instituted until August 1st of this year. They've been helping at the Aquatic Center with lifeguard duties. They've also had Community Day out with Osprey Cove, Eagles Key Day, and the St. Mary's Police Department 5K. The building department is still down an inspector using fire department and public works to assist with inspections. We'll be moving all builders to cloud permit this September, which you'll hear more about cloud permitting in just a minute. Main Street, DDA approved facade grants from Midtown Business, Coastal Routes, and Insuring Camden in the amount of $3,500. Several other things. Tourism added a direct booking link to our website for Snag a Slip, which will save the city booking fees on that site. Created Hydrants and Hounds Cornhole Tournament registration from the St. Mary's Fire Department. Supplier meeting with Advanced Travel. Submitted St. Mary's Aquatic Center and Visit St. Mary's ads to the Guide for Camden and tributaries. Working on St. Mary's Aquatic Center black cards. Several other promotional things. Cumberland Island featured in the Southern Living in May in the 7 most romantic coastal escapes for couples. Excuse me, I'll back up and do that one again if you don't mind. Southern Living in May in the 7 most romantic coastal escapes for couples, garnering 11.4 million impressions. Working through GDOT application process to put one of the nice wayfinding signs in place of the 5 signs at Highway 40 and St. Mary's Road. Community development, the planning department continues to refine the zoning text rewrite for C2, Highway Commercial and Community District. Major additions to the zoning include perimeter and public right-of-way landscaping, exterior lighting, and sign design guidelines. Any individual interested in the draft text are welcome to engage the department for any more information. You can also go back and watch the video from just a few minutes, or from 5 o'clock today. Earlier today, the planning department, public works, grant writing, and myself were involved with a phone call with GEMA concerning the scoping work for our seawall project at the lagoon. So that is moving. Grants. She's been very busy. She's been a discretionary grant symposium in Lawrenceville that was held on the 23rd and the 25th, direct pay incentives for clean energy. Attended FROD 101 classes as a part of it. Multiple National League of Cities boot camp sessions, and reviewing multiple transportation opportunities, and meetings and calls regarding ombudsmen, which city council members have relationships to rally with political and state and national leaders. Continues to review the Federal Register for various funding opportunities which align with city goals. From our city assistant city manager, the aquatic park, May 3rd, they hosted the first school in the aquatic park. They have a calendar filled with events leading up to the opening of the 24th season. Special thank you to the fire department for assisting with lifeguarding. We could not take care of the schools without their help. We are working through the vendor process to be ready for the season, which you approved 2 of those tonight. is also in the process of training her lifeguards, and they are discussing the possibility of swimming lessons coming back this year. That is still in discussions. Our senior center, ladies and gentlemen, the ribbon cutting for the new senior center will be May 10th, 2024 at 1 p.m. That is May 10th of this year at 1 p.m. to be held at the new senior center, which is located at 2603 CC Osborne, and look forward to seeing everybody there for that.
Mr. Horton, how would you suggest people get to the senior center? Where should they park?
Usually in a parking spot, sir. No, sir, there's,
Front or back?
you made the comment, you started that one. No, sir, there is parking located in the front of the building, and there is limited parking in the back. If you're coming as a guest to attend, I would recommend parking in the front of the building.
For now, they can
And the
park.
front door will be open, and you're more than welcome to come
Okay,
straight on
as
through.
soon as you
Matter of
go
fact,
in,
I
you
highly
go all the way-
recommend it to be able to see the doors that we're putting in.
Yeah. Go all the way
Separation.
down. Okay.
Yes, sir. The senior center, they're suffering a great problem. Staffing is getting a little stretched. They've had more participation in a bigger building, and it's showing us the challenges, and they're adapting and overcoming. At the marina, they're working on revenue drivers for there. They're working on getting a final information to go to bid for the renovation of the bathrooms to make them ADA. They're also working on getting a second washer and dryer hookup installed in the house to be able to assist with that.
That's a big plus.
On projects, the Burrell Bridge. Public, please listen to this. We've received word from DOT that this project has escalated, and we have entered into the scoping process of a new bridge. If you'll remember, we recently had to
Lower the weight restriction.
we had to, yes, restrict the movement across the bridge because we were having some delay. We have received notification of early notification of road closures whenever construction begins. That date has not been set, but we will be putting out information on our social media, our website, on our Facebook, but we're also going to open opportunity for anyone that living in the area that may be impacted by, that uses Burrell Boulevard to contact us with any concerns or questions that they might have, but that information will be going out as well. So just please keep a lookout for that.
That's really good news. Do you have any kind of timeline from GE?
No, sir. No, sir, but we'll be discussing that here very quickly because that meeting was also today.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you didn't know, we do have a budget workshop with council on May the 8th, that if we're not completed, we'll go to the 9th.
That's this Wednesday?
That would be this Wednesday at approximately 8:30 in the morning.
Is it 7:30?
8:30, sir.
7:30, I would.
Also, if you would, please, our next council meeting, we're going to request a workshop to review with council cloud permitting. You've heard a lot of conversations about it. We've had a lot of questions. This is the permitting process that our contractors are using and also experiencing when they do inspections. You'll actually get to see a firsthand look at, see what it looks like from both sides, both our side as well as from a contractor side. So when an inspection's done and they take their the inspectors take their tablets in the field, they mark what's wrong, they actually get a picture and comments as what the problem is. So it's almost instantaneous. Once they hit send, it goes to the contractor's email. So you'll get a quick preview of that because we are going live with all of the contractors in the very near future. So, Mr. Mayor, that completes my report for this evening.
All right, do you have any questions for city manager?
Sure. Since we touched on IT and website development's the first thing, do we have an update or status on the website development?
We have I'm trying to remember we have the mock-up, basically the layout of how it's going to flow and everything. So they're going through now and testing the links, or I don't know what you call them. It's not on fire, I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
So they're looking at the flow, making sure that they've got minimum amount of uses to get where you need to go. They're in that testing phase.
Is there an ETA that they've been given?
I'm sure there is one, but I don't know it off the top of my head, sir. But it's a weekly process.
Like, it'll be done in a week?
No. No.
I like the way you think.
Yes.
Do we have a date? A day or month?
No, ma'am. I don't. I'm sure there is one, but I don't have it with me. I apologize.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before we get to granting audience to the public, while we've got a little bit bigger audience, there's just two things I'd like to mention, and the first is in the way of a thank you. There was an FCA Kings Triathlon recently, and you may want to speak about it. I'll do this.
Yeah, you
So we did get an expression of thanks from the group for supporting the triathlon, and it was very successful and safe due to the outstanding support from the city, from the permitting process to make it happen, the presence and cooperation of fire and rescue, EMTs and police officers, and the various signs to help guide people. So they were very appreciative, and that's what St. Mary's does. And Alan, did you want to say a little bit about it?
No, the city staff was just absolutely incredible. It was a very successful event, and just proud of the entire city staff for making this happen.
Thank you. The other thing I want, I sit on the Board of Health, and so we got a news release today. The Camden County Health Department is offering vaccines at no cost for uninsured or underinsured adults through November 30th. And if you know, our Board of Health is over on Dilworth Street, and I would probably suggest you give them a call and they can set up an appointment. But specifically, they asked that we get the word out on this, and it's for uninsured and underinsured adults through May 30th, and they have life-saving vaccines for adults that include chickenpox, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, human papillomavirus, MMR, meningococcal, pneumococcal, shingles, tetanus, pertussis, and diphtheria. So it's quite extensive. And so if you know of anybody that might have the need, please let them know. Thank you. Okay. So now we're going to move into granting audience to the public, and this is, we request that you come up and give your name and address and respect the 5-minute time limit. So whoever's first. Yes, ma'am.
Shirley Sessions, 114 Boston. I just want to know, have there been any update on the Gilman Craft building, about the condition of that building? Have anybody done anything about that building yet? We talked about this like 2 months ago, about...
After we're done with the public input, we will respond where we can.
Okay.
This is rhetorical right now.
Okay. And also about the, you need to, there's some attention need to be done again on the water fountain as you come across the bridge to where the big sign says, "Welcome to St. Mary's." It's getting very bushy around there again, so.
Okay, and who's next?
Good evening, Mike Wright, 200 Chase Court. Change and transition is always difficult, but as a mostly an outside observer watching what's happened with the senior center, it's been kind of special. My mother-in-law, I just dropped her off in the parking lot. Is how I know about the senior center. but I have been over there some, and there's a lot of changes going on over there. And this is a prediction / be ready. There's going to be growth there that maybe wasn't anticipated. There's more classes. I'm seeing more people come in. I'm seeing people who said, I will never like that place, say, you know, I'm going to tell people it's okay. So it's a good thing. It's been a good change, but I think there are going to be some growing pains, and I think the council and the staff, that you just need to know that that's kind of coming. But I think it's good growth, but it may not be what we were expecting. Because if the thought was you were just going to take what was going on in a small building and put it in the big building and just have more space with about the same people, that's not what's going to happen.
No.
So just be ready for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Yes, sir.
I guess I'm still a little jet lagged. Rob Moore, 509 Westgate Circle. Councilman Riley, did you ever go to Guam in your travels as a SWO?
Go where?
Guam, sir?
No, I didn't.
No. Well, a work vacation was semi-okay. Working 12s, it is what it is, so I'll end with that topic with half a day, as they say over there. So, Charlie, I was hoping that the janitorial people would report to you. I saw how you wrangled that steer before I left. You could wrangle that too, so good on you, sir. To Chief Galloway and Mr. Horton and staff, I would like to thank you for that dog ordinance. While I was away, I had no reports of loose dogs in Crooked River, but then again, the other party did pay almost $200 to Camden County for when they pled no contest. I do want to run up with Chief Galloway on like how many times there will be warnings before the city cites them, but I'll offline with you, sir. I see that we have a couple of good vendors with the Aquatic Center, and that's got me thinking as a parent with kids that use it. Do we have any type of study about expanding our season? I understand that our lifeguards is kind of been a hurdle, but with how our temperatures tend to lead on to where you can still splish splash past that time in September. And I feel, as a parent with the economy, that if there was more time here, that's more of a economical outlet for the kids to use. So I think that comes up every now and then from us parenting age group. While I was gone, I was copied on an email. My wife is involved with the staff. The sidewalks in Crooked River, we only have sidewalks along the main thoroughfare. It passed the snuff that the temporary patches are okay for now, and it's on some kind of a punch list down on the priority. I get that. I just have been kind of asking for sidewalk maintenance for 6-7 years. So I would love to see that come up a little bit higher. And then I was going to, I'll ask, I understand it's rhetorical, maybe I have to follow up with a email, but the historical preservation moratorium, I guess I would like, I don't understand how we're circumventing, or to me it appears that we're circumventing state law about members of the board residing in the historical district, so I guess I will send an email to the city attorney and Mrs. Stein. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some young guests here. Is this part of scouting? So, could I ask you to give us your names?
Joshua Farrell.
Joshua?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. All right. And you are part of, what, a troop?
Yes.
Which,
208. Troop 208.
208? Okay, is it the city of St. Mary's or the whole county or what?
It's Kingsland.
Kingsland, okay. Well, and we're glad you're here, and does this help you get another badge? Excellent. Yeah. So I know, yeah.
All right.
Our councilman, our former councilman, Sam Caldwell, would dearly love to have been here because he is a huge Scout advocate, and we appreciate that you want to go through this, and we appreciate that you're here, and you're always welcome to come back. And if you'd like to come sometime and meet some of the staff, and maybe Chief Galloway and Chief Lackner might let you stop in and see where they work, if you'd like to do that sometime.
And thank y'all for what you do and your hard work. It takes a lot of hard work to be part of an organization, especially like the one that y'all are with.
Yeah. I think some mom and dad should probably get a kudos too.
Yes, absolutely.
So before we drop down to the calendar, just a couple. Did you want to come back up?
Please,
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. All right, I didn't see you.
I wanted to wait to be the last because I think that what I'm going to speak about is very, very important, and I think it's something we very uplifting. Let me wait. 816 Riverview Drive, West St. Mary's. I had the privilege on going on the honor flight, and I mean it was very, these are the bags, the stuff that they gave us, and for those of you who don't know about the honor flight, they take you to Washington D.C. and you go through all the sites, military sites, the Iwo Jima, Second World War, and it's a very humbling, the Vietnam War, the Korean site, and I went there. This is my first time, even though I lived in D.C., but I've never been to some of those sites, and it was, let me get myself together here because I'm trying to stay within my 5 minutes. It's called the honor flight. It's out of Brunswick, and they do this thing as an annual thing, and it's all taken care of. You don't pay a dime for what we were given. It's amazing, and I'm kind of I'm a person of nut. With words, I'm always lacking. I'm not lacking because it was a humbling thing to me. Because when it was when we came back from the Vietnam era, I came back in '72, and I didn't get spat on or nothing like that. But there was guys who were there in the '60s and stuff, and they talk about the Hare Krishnas, and some of those things happened and transpired, and they would tell me about this thing, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of deep. Anyway, one of the key things that I want to mention in reference to, most of it is mostly Navy guys, and boy, they are ragged on the Coast Guard. But you know what? I had to kind of step in as an Air Force man and say, look, you guys who were not on the Mekong Delta, the Coast Guard guys were there. And up to recently, I was looking at the papers, where they opened the seaways in the Arabian Sea with all this stuff that's going on. Believe it or not, they had a big old Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard ship was there. So they're there again. So I want to kind of get that out, because I know we kind of rag on him, but he has a very important part that he did play. Anyway, some of the things that we did is the sites we went to was the World War II, Iwo Jima, Korean War, the Vietnam War, and of course the best thing is the Arlington Cemetery, the changing of the guard. And believe it or not, I lived there, but I'd never been there before. And so, you know, I sat there and was just humbled. And what was great about it, when they were doing the changing of the guard, I was in a wheelchair, so I had a kind of nice position where I was situated. And those guys came out, you know, when they get the changing the guard, and this time they had a female that was changing out. And I'm like, wow. So it was kind of neat watching that happen, man. I mean, she was like on top of it. And so did all the change in the whole 9 yards. And then the young lady was because the guardian angel, she was an ROTC lady, youngster, and she was pushing me out. We were getting ready to leave, and when we were going back out, I saw where the bugler, a wreath, and one person was coming back in. So I'm like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? I told him, turn around, take us back, you know what I mean? Went back, and then what they had was a changing of the wreath. And normally it was for, you know, some youths, I guess a family or something that they brought down there, and they changed all the wreath. And, you know, it was, it's like, almost like, you know, when the president was changing out at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, that's what they were doing. So I was able to get a chance to see that. And I recorded it too as best as I could. And what again, you know, that was very humbling, which was even more humbling is when we came back into Brunswick. You know, I was like one of the third or fourth person because we had to come down those stairs, man. It was a trip. By then you're tired. Your leg is not moving right because it was cold up there in Washington, D.C., believe it or not, man. Very dreary and cold. But I didn't mind. Yeah, I didn't mind. I came back and I was getting ready to, I was the third person, so I got in a wheelchair. And my guardian angel and a military guy, they were pushing me out from the water course. I say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, man. You know, I got to go. And then when we came around the block and came, I don't know if you guys familiar with the Brunswick Airport. We came around there and came out, man, and they strike up the music. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Man, we had I couldn't do nothing but sit down there and my tears would run out my eyes. I just kind of went and raised up my hat, and I mean, it was the place was crowded. Very, very, I mean, it was great. And you can go on the Coastal Georgia website and you will see it. Because I went back and looked at it on the Facebook page so you could see what went on. I don't know. I was there, you know what I mean? Of course, at that point in time, I would just throw my hand up out there and I was like waving crazy. Because when I came back in the early 70s, we didn't have that. So this was like I said, hats out for the guys who didn't make it. You know what I mean? And one of the key things was when I came back home, tired as I was, man, I poured drink, and I said, I toasted to the guys who didn't make it, and for those who didn't have a chance to really see what I saw. 55 years in the making. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else? Before we move on, just a couple of comments now that outside of the rhetorical situation. On the season extension, if you would give Mr. Williams a call, or Mr. Williams, can you call Mr. Moore and help him with that? And the chief can talk to you about the animal control, and Mr. Marr can maybe update you.
I was drafting an email now to the department heads.
Okay, thank you. As far as I appreciate it, it's the 21st century, folks. I keep reminding myself. As for the box plant, we are not involved in that negotiation, but it's, I can't tell you, but there is another organization in the city, in the county, that's trying to deal with the ownership about the building, and I can't say anything more than that. I'm not supposed to. And as far as the water fountain, it is not our territory, and we will reach out to the ownership to see if we can have them address that. So, and if there's anything else, please feel free to contact the city manager or the assistant city manager. I don't know. I think that was some of the immediate things that I heard. So we'd be happy to help you. Okay, Madam Clerk, can you give me the calendar, please?
8:30 a.m. on May 8th, council budget work session in council chambers. May 9th at 9:30 a.m. Orange Hall Management Committee meeting in Main Street office. At 5 p.m. St. Mary's Intercoastal Gateway meeting in Main Street office. On May 13th at 8:30 a.m. Downtown Development Authority meeting is in the Main Street office. On May 14th at 2 p.m. the invitation to bid Phase 2 St. Mary's Senior Center. At 5:30 p.m. Planning Commission meeting in council chambers. 5:30 p.m. on May 15th, open meetings, open records meeting, council chambers. On May 17th, municipal court will be in council chambers at 9 and 11 a.m. And on May 20th, 6 p.m., city council meeting, council chambers.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move to council comments. Mr. Jones?
Okay, I just wanted to, hey, before y'all leave, I wanted to. Don't leave when I'm preaching. I just wanted to thank all of the audience and everybody that take a part in our city council meetings, and especially those that volunteer for these various committees. Sometime I'll get slapped side the face because I didn't choose a certain person for the position, but it's worth it. We have a lot of excellent people that volunteer to help us manage and run the city in the way which it should be run. So my hat's off to y'all. Thank you. And Bert, thank you for that. I was in the Army during the Vietnam era, and believe me, it wasn't very pretty for soldiers. I couldn't even wear my uniform at home because people would spit on you and do all kind of nasty things to you. And I'm glad that they're finally giving honor where honor is due for the guys that died over there. I didn't go to Vietnam, but I really appreciate all of those people that fought for us during that era. These two guys, scouts, would y'all stand up? I just want to let you know that I really commend you. I've been big in scouts for a long time, and y'all keep going, and maybe you'll get your Eagle Scouts. Okay, thank you.
If they hadn't already got it.
No, they hey,
No.
long. And I want to say that only 6% of all scouts ever reach Eagle, and I'm honored to say that we have the proud mother of one that earned his Eagle Scouts, Marcelo Reed. He doesn't have it yet, but he will have it. He's on the verge of getting it. His last project was to revamp the gazebo or repair the gazebo down in St. Mary's. And Bobby, Mr. Marr, really appreciate the help that the city staff gave him in doing that, because he did a great job. I didn't know that gazebo was as rotten as it was, but they did a fantastic job. And tell Marcelo I contributed financially a little bit, but I got arthritis, so I couldn't help him paint.
Of course, of course.
There's, we'll have graduation in a little while, and I just want to let the people know how proud we should be of our school system. Out of the thousands of school systems, Camden County is in the top 71%, number 71. And I really, really appreciate the efforts that our school board and everybody else is doing to make our school system. Is that for me? And the last thing I want to do is, since Lisa's got those flowers, she was also appointed by the president of GMA to serve as the chair of the community development.
Yes.
And in that role, she helped shape policies for the state of Georgia. So I think we need to give her a big hand for that also. And again, you know, I appreciate all of those that attend, and I think that we have, well, I might be a little bit biased, but I think that St. Mary's is the best city in the United States.
I do.
I will definitely say that St. Mary's is the best city in the United States. It's just, for me personally, it's just an awesome place to work. The people that volunteer for boards and everything, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate y'all. And if you weren't elected tonight to be able to work on anything, please sign up for something else, because we've got a whole bunch of things in St. Mary's that need to be done. And for the people that come to City Council, thank y'all so much for being here. I just want to say y'all have a good week, and thank y'all for being here, and thank y'all for supporting us. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ingram.
Okay, I took some notes, so I'll probably be a little sporadic or just random, jumping around through the notes and addressing a few things that came up tonight. First, Mr. Burt, thank you for your service, and I'm glad you got to enjoy the event that you were able to attend. The Boy Scouts, I'm glad that we could help you guys get your badge for what y'all probably consider extreme boredom, so you're welcome that we were able to do that for you. Sitting through this is a chore, I get it, especially for you guys. The Historical Preservation Commission, I know Mr. Moore brought that up and wanted to reach out. I know that in the process, initially we were going to have some of the members that weren't in the historical district step down, but after reviewing a couple of the different places where it's written for state guidelines, that it was that they only had to live within the city limits of St. Mary's, and that was good, because now we're able to have a full HPC with a quorum now, so that we can do that. Senior center growth. I know that I had a just in casual conversation with, I think, Mr. Williams in the building, that I don't know if they've taken any steps to do so to anticipate the growth of members, not just from St. Mary's citizens, but those in the whole county that want to use it. Where we discussed the potential of maybe having memberships that would help fund and maybe help with staff. If you can get some other revenue from that, where it could help fund staff, but. Having memberships for usage for outside of St. Mary's residents, and also to include, food memberships if they choose to do that. I think that's about it. Asides, just a reminder. Oh, I wanted to congratulate again, or just show appreciation for Miss Deborah Walker Reed. Any city in Georgia could come up and say, yes, we've got the best city clerk in the state, but only one city can really mean it, and that truly is us. She does a great job. So, And just a reminder to vote this week. We have the Welcome Center open this week for voting for the primaries for early voting. It's open 8 to 5. It's been a low turnout thus far. We only had 40 people show up at our location today to vote. For the whole county last week that was at the Kingsland Annex, they had 1,131. That's a low turnout so far. So please don't forget to vote. That's very important to do your civic duty there and make your voice heard. So 8 to 5, right down the street. I'm done.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, first comment I want to make is to echo Artie's comments with respect to the people that applied for the positions we had open today. All of the candidates that I had the opportunity to talk with are truly outstanding, want to help the city, and hope that next time something comes up, you'll again apply and look for us to select you. Second thing goes to Chief Galway. It is, the other day I stopped and talked with Terry Landwith regarding some work we were doing on bicycle trails and things like that. And he said, before you start telling me what we need to do, I'd get one thing to tell you, and that was that the chief and the police department showed up in an event a couple Saturdays ago, and they talked about how good they were and what they were there for. But the thing that stood out for me was the fact that every one of the city employees that attended that event, and I think there may have been some police or fire there too, is that right? Yeah. And every one of them was so respectful and considerate. And, I just thought that's exactly the attitude that we need coming from our St. Mary's citizens, because people get confidence and they do it. So congratulations. I'd like to give you a hand for that, both of you. And the other thing, GLSP was mentioned earlier, and as the city manager had mentioned, we're running to the 30th of May to get all of the preliminary work in and go through some more stuff later in the summer with respect to the coming and taking a look at the trail, where it's going to be and so forth. But we have finished the first venture with that, which was to get several documents and the mayor acceptance of the city's acceptance signed by the mayor of the trail grant, the GOSP grant. So that's moving along, and I suspect that we should see the money start flowing in and the trail going down for the end of the year. And the other thing, Honor Flight, I wanted to mention that was very moving, and just want to point out that folks have an opportunity to apply for that, and there's several organizations here in the city that help with that event, Honor Flight. And Keith Post is actually one of the leaders, and he's a board member of that group up in Brunswick, and good person. If you qualify, you can check with him, and he can probably help you get that application. And it's a wonderful program, and a lot of folks have really come back feeling the same as you did today, Bert. So thank you for that stuff, and that's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Assey.
I'd like to bring up this Friday with the Senior Center. It's been a milestone for us to be able to accomplish what we've done as a city in the last 8 years, and it's been really neat to see how responsive our community and the city staff have been toward making this change and transition. So I want to commend everyone for their help on that. This coming Saturday is a real special day. It's the Special Steps 5K. And if you're not familiar with that program, that's a kid for special need. It's a program for special need kids in our county. And they have a 5K run over at Chris Willman Stadium this Saturday. And it's a very festive occasion for the special need kids in our community, and it's to support their efforts. The Knights of Columbus did a phenomenal job hosting the race over here at the Catholic Church. We've got the fish fry for June Hawk, fish fry for Orange Hall coming up. And that's June 8th, cash and carry 11 to 2. And then about 4th of July Festival, that's just around the corner. So thank you, Bobby, for getting Gangway in. And Jamie, your work session was excellent. Thank you for that today.
All right. Yes, ma'am. All right. I was sitting here making notes. I did not realize that so much had happened since our last meeting. But before I do anything, I want to recognize, well, first I want to thank my husband for grabbing these because I forgot them earlier. But if they will stand, both our clerks, our city clerk, and her assistant, Miss Bendis. You guys do not understand the breadth of the work that our clerks do in order for us to be prepared. Half of that is them. Keeping us, what? You don't want to stand? Still working. Oh, I'm sorry. She's still working. See what I mean? Thank you guys for everything that you do. Thank you. I think on behalf of the entire council, we really appreciate everything you do. I don't know where she gets that from.
Very kind of you.
Not just for what they do for us, but you guys don't realize it, but our city clerk is called on in the entire state. And she is a wealth of knowledge, so we really appreciate having her here. We're fortunate for that. So thank you guys again. Mr. Seals, thank you so much for your service, and all veterans. Can you guys just stand? Because I know there's multiple veterans in here. Can you all just stand? Thank you. Thank you all for all that you do. And Mr. Moore, welcome back.
Thank you, ma'am.
I didn't realize you were back. Okay. Please vote, vote, vote. These, I was going to say young men. Can I do that? These young men have sacrificed in order for us to have the privilege of voting. So please take advantage of that privilege that they have sacrificed for. The senior center, I had an opportunity to go by. I feel like this past week I went to every amenity in the city. So I had a chance to go to the senior center. They are excited about what's there. And thank you, Mr. Williams, for a job well done in transitioning them over. They are still adjusting and growing is, I think that's putting it lightly. So we will probably have to make some decisions around that growth. I had an opportunity to teach a class at the library. I was a little embarrassed because I did not realize that my own library card had expired some time ago, but I did get a new one. And if you're not taking advantage of that service, please do. We have a wonderful library, the entire staff. They have all kinds of programs. And if you're not doing anything on Tuesday, it doesn't cost anything. I think this next one is debt management. It's free. So please come by Tuesday at 7. I'm sorry, 6. The class will be over at 7. Tuesday at 6. Let's see. Taste of Camden. We had that at Orange Hall. So I want to thank our Main Street manager, Candace Pullum, and as well as the Chamber of Commerce and many, many businesses and restaurants in the city. It was an awesome event. I left full and not thirsty, so that was a great event. The community market, if you're not taking advantage of that, I left once again with full grocery bags, and I didn't even know I had as much money as I did until I spent it all. So, and actually it wasn't a lot. I mean, I came home with multiple bags of food, fresh produce, crafts. So please take advantage of that at Orange Hall. And it really was such a community. It just felt like I felt like I was home when I walked there. The Garden Club was having a sale. Thank them for helping me to get some plants that I can't kill. So they weren't plastic, they're in dirt. I'm hoping I won't kill them, so thank you to the ladies from the Garden Club, as well as all of the vendors at the community market. Special steps, you guys, those are actually adults with special needs that didn't have anything, they didn't have any programming or anything else for them to do in Camden. And Ms. Whitfield actually started that not-for-profit in order for adults with special needs to actually have some activities. So please, if you can, go by and support that. And the last thing I do have to say in regards to civic engagement, one of the folks that I spoke to today, made it very clear that they had opinions and ideas, but sitting at home on social media or wherever being frustrated about some of the thoughts and ideas that they had really doesn't help anything or anybody. So they decided to apply for one of the positions. And I can tell you that it was a difficult decision. Every single one of those people that took their, that decided to volunteer. But please, 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 there's always some availability on some of our boards. It really does help. It helps us with decision-making. We cannot do everything on our own, and we do rely on our boards and our authorities to help us out. It helps in being more inclusive. It helps with transparency. It helps to improve the quality of life that we have here, so we really appreciate that. So we encourage you to continue to apply for those positions. Please don't be discouraged. And the last thing, with graduation right around the corner, I want to identify the fact that youth are a very important part of our community. Many of those young people will graduate, go on to college, and probably never come back to St. We want them to come back, but a lot of times they don't. But please, if you see a young person on your street in your neighborhood, there's some of them have signs in their yards now. Please congratulate them or give them some kind of words of encouragement as they go on their way. I know that's important. We want the youth to keep coming back, but it's really important that we create an environment so that they do feel welcome while they're here. That's all I have. Oh. Okay, yes. Last week, I had the pleasure of attending the Legislative Policy Council and Board of Directors meeting for the Georgia Municipal Association, where we were able to identify some opportunities for improvements, not just in our community, but across the state of Georgia. We do have some local legislation, which one of those, there will be a referendum in November regarding your millage, I'm sorry, not millage, regarding your homestead exemption, so please take a look out for that. It's actually House Bill 581. We'll, over the next several months, hopefully be able to educate you all on what it means to you, as well as how it would impact the city, but again, another piece of legislation. That's it. Anything else I forget? Sorry, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Mr. Blackerby? We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Better late
It's
than
getting
never.
later and later.
It was close, wasn't it?
Better late than never.
Just for everyone's benefit, there are some of our folks here may be directly involved, but Admiral Buchanan, who is in charge of the water side of Naval Base Kings Bay, has a change of command on Friday, and he's going off to the Midwest somewhere, and I don't have the new admiral's name, but they're usually here 2 or 3 years. He was an outstanding individual there.
Yeah, he was.
And he deserves all of the promotions that I think he's capable of handling. So we wish him well if he's watching. I think also we have a new National Park Service director. And as soon as she's comfortable, I'm going to ask her and also Dr. Green from the school system at some point in time if they would both come at different times. And we'd like to introduce them to you and to the larger community. And we're going to do that. Thank you for Saturday Market. You know, I'll be a little particular. The Dobros have excellent products. I'll just say that. If you have to run into that main sidewalk as you're walking in on the left-hand side, but other than that, they're all great vendors, and they all know one another, and they really enjoy themselves and have a good time. Back to voting for the last comment, and so voting from May 6th to May 16th is from 8 to 5. Friday, the 17th, it will be from 8 to 6. And you're able to vote right now at the annex, which is next to the county library, at our Welcome Center right down the street, and the Government Services Complex at Woodbine. So lots of opportunities, plus, you know, if you have, if you're going to go paperless and submit it, you can do that also. So we encourage you to do that. We put the ballot out on the display board outside if you want to look at it, because there are about 7 or 8 initiatives for both of the parties that you're going to be asked to say yay or nay to. So with that, I'm going to ask if I can have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
On real estate. Mr. Rassi.
Second.
Mr. Rassi and Mr. Jones is the second. We typically can't put a timeline on when we're going to be done. So thank you very much for everyone that's here and online. And all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Alan.
If the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem will come back in, we can start.
Did they go the other way? We made a motion to come back in here. How many times have I played golf? I'll let you go first.
Can you get it?
I played today.
I
play Wednesday.
one time a week.
About 3 months.
All that climbing for,
I'll finally get a rude awakening.
I'm a little rusty on doing my notice.
what's that?
I got called in at 3 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning.
man, yeah, you told me that.
Hey, you know,
I've had plenty of those days.
A buzz cut like him.
No, I ain't
We
doing
could,
that.
we could all do that.
Time.
Except
I
for-
mean, Robbie,
except for
Robbie
you.
looks really good tonight. You know what I'm saying?
He
He
always
didn't
looks
even
good.
get feed off too much tonight.
Can we make a motion to get back into session?
Yes.
Second.
Hey.
All right, I've got a motion to go back into session from Mr.
Second.
Ingram and a second from.
Second.
From
I
Mr.
second.
Connor. All in favor?
Aye.
You told me I need to
Opposed?
sign something.
Abstained?
Oh. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
And
close.
Was it getting a
Close the
message?
meeting?
or Was it? Oh, no. All right. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I didn't hear the first one.
Mr. Riley and a second from Mr. Ingram.
It
No,
doesn't
Mr.
matter.
Jones.
Jones. Give it to Jones.
Do we have any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Congratulations.
Wow.
I heard that, whoever said that word.
What's that?
When they said, was there any